Many people ask me how to find signposts in the ritual, and today I'm relenting and giving an easy example. Also, the details can be found in my new book. The signposts are hidden in the ritual using steganography. There are several techniques used, such as substituting words, for example, Royal Arch in place of Royal Art, or obvious mistakes, such as Eureka, or spelling mistakes. And there are missing words or phrases, for example, from the second degree lesson, or even mixed metaphors, such as that in the third degree, and square quotes that emphasize that something is important, as in the second degree. And of course, there can also be misleading hints to confuse the inquisitive, such as the classic red herring. Today I want to talk about the understory represented by numbers. A classic example is in the ritual, where it states that 1,453 columns, 2,906 pilasters were used to build King Solomon's temple. I believe these numbers are actually dates. So here I will explain the first date, 1453. When you search the internet, you will find many references, such as the end of the 100 Years' War. Then there was also the fall of Constantinople to the Turks in the same year, which meant the end of the Byzantine Greek dynasty. Lastly, one date given for the start of the Olympic Games in Greece is also given as 1453 BC. But none of these dates have a link to Freemasonry. The first number is suspicious because square buildings always have an even number of columns. Only round buildings do not. This can be easily verified by looking at any courthouse or official building built in a classical manner. The facade always has an even number of columns, as otherwise the door into the building would be obstructed. An important factor in all classical architecture is symmetry, so an odd number would not be acceptable. Secondly, the two numbers are connected as one is twice the size of the other. We know that Newton and others had tried to estimate the proportions of King Solomon's temple, and that he based his calculations on those in the Book of Kings, and also the records of Josephus. When we consult Josephus' book, Antiquities of the Jews, we find that there were only 162 pillars in the temple, so we know that the number 1453 is incorrect and has to be a signpost. I believe that 1453 refers to the year that construction started on Roslin Chapel, which early Masons might have believed was the start of operative Freemasonry. Construction on the chapel started in 1456, but the housing for the workmen started 12 years earlier, so maybe the land was surveyed and a blessing said prior to the construction, which would account for the date 1453. The date 2906 is much more difficult to understand, except when you subtract the date from Anno Mundi, and then the result you will find is very interesting, but more about that in my forthcoming book. Thank you.